Despite a sleepy day, there were crashes, Roglic going for a sprint, and one team in the final opting to do things differently against a strong Alpecin-Deceuninck train. This was stage 12 of La Vuelta from Olvega to Zaragoza, and it was a sprint stage. There were no categorized climbs at all. They started at 1,000 meters and went down to Zaragoza. The finish wasn't that technical by Vuelta standards, and what we've seen, there's a big hairpin, but that's like before 3Ks to go, and yeah, there's a sweeping left-hand curve, but calma, here's the windmills. Could have been a crosswind stage, but the wind just wasn't strong enough and not the right direction, so Alpecin-Deceuninck made sure a manageable break went. That's indeed what it was the case. Balderston and Jetse Bol there for the TV exposure, and a sort of chill day mostly for the GC teams, and despite that calmness, there's, one person makes a mistake, and all of a sudden, one of the most important helpers for Remco for tomorrow's mountain stage, Louis Favaka's on the ground. And when I watched it back, Rui Oliveira, he's looking over, he's like, estoy aburrido, and people saying, yo también. Is that Roglic? Him and Tratnik look really similar, but is that Roglic, who he might have nearly gone down too? So even on these calm days, there's no calm days in Grand Tours, particularly when you're in the GC. So UAE, Quickstep, and Movistar, all of the GC teams will be stressing a little bit. And who is this bringing water bottles back? Jonas Vingegaard got the bidons in the back. Has he just been relegated to a flat domestique? How quickly they forget winning the Tour de France, back in his place, handing out bidons up the line to Dylan van Baarle, and then hunting the real GC leader, Sepp, the Eagle of Durango, Kuss, who plucks a bidon from his back. Now, apparently he just had his radio stopped working, went back to the car, and then, given that he was coming back, he went and brought some bidons and gels back, and the windmills kept turning, and Jetse Bol kept turning out front, but he would eventually be caught by Alpecin with 38Ks to go. They love to catch the TV exposure break early, Alpecin. It's so mean. But yeah, there was an intermediate sprint with bonus seconds and points, and that motorbike got a bit uncomfortably close. So Roglic got the lead out from Jan Tratnik, his body double, and Groves fully went for it with the Alpecin half their lead out. And Roglic came second. Quickstep sent Casper Pedersen to take away seconds, but he didn't actually beat Roglic in the sprint. He comes third. So Roglic takes 4 seconds on Remco Evenepoel, better than nothing. Remco took 6 the other day, and then the GC teams were back in. Jonas Vingegaard in his flat ruler role, keeping GC Kuss safe as he should, and up to the 3 kilometer rule, because there's a big sweeping or hairpin with just over 3Ks to go, and here it is that they all wanted to be in front for. There could be some crashes in this. There's a split. It's outside 3Ks to go. You don't get put on the same time. That's what Dylan van Baarle is obviously hunting for. And once they go through that illusion of safety, 3Ks to go, it's up to the sprinter teams like Alpecin-Deceuninck to take it up. And that indeed is what they did. Their train looked outstanding. They've got 4 lead-out riders with 2Ks to go. And Groves in the green jersey sitting behind. Edward Turn's got a reasonable lead out today. He was put on Groves' wheel. But the fight, and I opened with this video, one team did things differently. There was the biggest fight from 3Ks to go to the rest of the finish almost to get on Caden Groves' wheel. EF have Marion Vandenberg and 2 lead-out men here, but they just try to put Vandenberg. There's a huge fight between him and the Intermarché rider, maybe Hugo Page and Dainese for Groves' wheel. And my question is, say you get on his wheel, say he gets a really good lead-out from Robbie Hayes and Plancart in front of him, are you going to beat him? Because he's quicker than everybody here as well, except for maybe Milano. And maybe that was UAE's plan as well, but kind of like what Cavendish said in 2021, the best way to beat them is to do a better lead-out or a late lead-out if they go too early. And you actually tire yourself so much. Like Groves was kept super fresh. He would have had a really, really powerful sprint. And if this stage went conventionally with 1K to go, he does probably just win, unless it's Milano on a really good day on his wheel. Certainly the other sprinters here are not beating him from the wheel if he gets this good lead-out. And it's also with Trek doing the lead-out here. And their rider, he looks back and then he sees actually turns is quite deep. Why would I take Alpecin too deep into this final? Look at where UAE are. And this is also probably not the best position. They are like 10th wheel, and if it's a more technical finish or narrow, you're not going to be able to move up. But they're kind of out of it. They don't spend a lot of energy, Rui Oliveira, moving up, moving back, getting shuffled back, moving up again, trying to put Milano on Groves' wheel. They're just waiting patiently, which is risky. And Alpecin are looking pretty sweet 500 meters to go. Second last man, I think it's Plancart leading out, and then Robbie Gijs is the last man who's going to probably be launched at 400 meters to go. So he's only got to do 2:25, which is a reasonable 15-second effort, 20-second effort for a last man. They usually take that amount of time. And with 400 meters to go, he opens up. But Rui Oliveira is coming with more speed. You'll see it much better in the overhead. He brings Milano with pace. They knew they had to be first through that left-hand bend at 2:25. And when he launches him at 150, with that lead out, no one's beating Milano, especially with Groves having been boxed in, and then I think he said he dropped his chain. But have a look at UAE here. It's actually Milano on the outside of Oliveira. He moved up and said, hey, time to move, and Oliveira from the inside, first of all, starts to wind it up in the saddle, a smooth acceleration, obviously doing a load of watts. He's a track rider, Oliveira, and already Robbie Gijs is launching, and if he can go the same speed as Oliveira, Albertson enters this corner first and Groves wins this stage. But the problem is Oliveira carries more speed and it does a better lead out than Robbie Gijs. With his left bend coming up, he's able to close off legally Albertson, and at this point, Groves cannot win this sprint because Milano is as fast or nearly as fast as him, and the Intermarché rider is about to close and box in Groves and not let him get onto Milano's wheel either. And I think that is where the drop chain happens, right about there. And now the sprint's over with Milano getting the best lead out. Like, unbelievable work from Rui Oliveira. They just really got it right today, UAE, and he came, I think, fourth in this stage as well, with Groves coming fast late, getting that chain back on, but it wasn't to be for him, and good job by UAE. I think Soler even helped with the run-in too, Milano said afterwards, and they win another stage, despite also going for GC here. So, fantastic work from those two. Milano wins the stage ahead of Groves, Boy Van Poppel, then Oliveira, the lead-up man, Edward Turns, Maren Vandenberg, Dainese, Aula, Hugo Page, and Menton rounding out the top 10. Here's what Milano had to say after the stage.
This year, you didn't wait for Madrid for winning. How do you feel?
My feeling is okay. I am very happy. Thanks for the work, for my team. My team today, amazing. This victory is for my team, for my family. I am very happy to stay in Vuelta last year, this year. I am very happy. After the incident, it's not easy for return, but now it's okay. I am very happy.
But tomorrow is a big day for GC, Kuss, and all the GC riders, with him leading GC 26 seconds ahead of Soler, Evenepoel on 109, 23 seconds now after that intermediate sprint ahead of Roglic. We go to the Tourmalet, preceded by the Obisque and Spandels. It's going to be a cracker. Full stage coverage as well. I can't wait, and I'll see you with the recap tomorrow. Ciao.